Jake, I got the coolest booking. You're going to be so excited about it. I don't know. I don't know if you'll be excited about it, but I am super excited about it. I am hosting a movie, maybe on the path to hosting at Red Rock someday, but that's unrelated, kind of. Other than it is doing comedy before a movie at the Breckenridge Film Festival.
Ooh.
If you could host any movie, what movie would you want to host?
Ooh, okay.
Classic. Not like a brand new release.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't pick a brand new release either. Yeah. The Room, maybe. I'm a big fan of The Room. I mean, I've seen it in theaters multiple times. It's ridiculous and so much fun.
Okay.
A movie that I really enjoy. That's also a good movie. That one's so good because it's terrible, right?
Okay.
A movie that I enjoy. I mean, like the Back to the Future movies are fantastic.
Oh, that would be neat. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I know you like Wizard of Oz. I like Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, sure. That'd be fine. It's Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, that's a good one too. Oh, that's a really good one.
How great is that? Are you kidding me?
Really good one. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Breckenridge Film Festival reached out to me. They were like, "Hey, would you want to host this event and tell some jokes before a screening of Dumb and Dumber? Parts of it were filmed in Breckenridge. We're really excited about it. It's on like a Tuesday night or like it's some off night. I like could not get to my phone/computer quick enough to say yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Thrilled. I cannot wait for that. So I'm probably going to do, I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably some trivia, tell a couple jokes, talk about what the movie means to me. I got to rewatch the movie now. I got to figure out if I have it on Laserdisc. I don't know if I do. I'm gonna
Laserdisc Dumb and Dumber. That's next level, man.
I'm going to check right now. If I don't have it, I'm going to try to get it. Sometimes these, I do have it. Are you kidding me? I got it. I'll have it for the Patreon. I'll pull it out and we'll take a peek at it. Where do I really own that? That's funny that I can't remember that. I have about 200 Laserdiscs now, so it's hard to keep track. Anyways, pretty exciting news. Also, I want to do a quick note for our regular listeners. Thank you for being a regular listener, and you could be in the future. This could be the year 2030. You discover this podcast because we're doing huge arenas. You're like, how did they make it? If you're listening to these episodes consecutively, you've just noticed some issues. This is episode 36. Due to my error, episodes 34 and 35 were flip-flopped. So we recorded 35 before 34, but I released them out of order. It's a long story. It doesn't really matter why, or that we recorded both as episode 34 on the back end and I released the wrong one. Whatever. I made a mistake. Okay. I'm fallible, everybody. And while we're on that topic, I made another Patreon error and our Patreon people are on top of it. I released the same episode twice, the same Patreon episode twice. It's all fixed now, everybody. But I'm so grateful for our Patreon subscribers, Mark and Jake, patreon.com/Mark and Jake. We've had some spicy stuff recently.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna pull the curtain back just a little bit and let you off the hook quite a bit because yes, you made a mistake on the back end of the episodes, but you also do 100% of the back end of the episodes.
I do. Jake and I have a gentleman's agreement that once we start making some money, I'll do some math. And I'm gonna make sure I'm compensated before Jake sees a penny.
That's right. And, absolutely.
It's gonna be a while, buddy.
Yeah. Okay. So back to Dumb and Dumber. Back to Dumb and Dumber. I'm a huge Dumb and Dumber fan. So like, that would probably be the top 2 favorite comedy movies.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So like that's like right up there. Like that would be one of those almost. You ask somebody right out of the gate, do you like this movie? Do you like Dumb and Dumber and the second movie, which I'll let you have a guess at in a second. But do you like these movies? If you like those kind of movies, then I'm gonna like you. We're gonna have a good time.
Okay.
So it's like really high, super rewatchable. I mean, I guess it's just age thing, and I had it on DVD and whatever. And I watched it so many times.
Yeah, Pretty Bird.
Yeah. I know exactly. And the sequel, the Dumb and Dumber, or Dumb and Dumber 2, I think. So the Dumb and Dumber, I think, was a prequel that didn't have the guys, and it was not very good. And then the other one was not good either. The sequel, not good, except when they showed the parts with the earlier movie. They had like, oh yeah, at the end of the movie they showed scenes from the first one, and that was the good part. Anyway, I heard this conversation with Jeff Daniels and how he got paid way less than Jim Carrey. Like it was millions and like 500, like 50,000. Like it was, he got paid 700, 800, several times as much as the guy. And people were trying to talk him out of taking the movie. They're like, Jeff, you can't take this movie. Jim Carrey is way funnier than you. You're not going to be able to handle it. You're not going to be able to hang with the guy. But I remember as a kid watching the movie, I'm like, both of these guys are amazing. I'm so into. I didn't like one or the other. It's just like both of them, like they felt like equals.
Well, I kind of feel like Jeff Daniels' character is a little funnier, just based on hair alone.
Yeah. Well, Jim is a pumpkin pie haircutted freak, like that.
He's working with a handicap with that bowl cut.
Yeah, the bowl cut. But the physical humor, obviously, his toilet scene is amazing. His tongue stuck to the frozen pole, very good. Him getting into the making the snowman with the girl. That's super fun. There's so much about it. I was shocked to hear that I hear that years later that like not only is there a huge pay discrepancy, but also like people were trying to talk him out of it because like you can't hang with Jim, and I think he 100% hung with him.
Yeah, he did great. He's an incredible actor. What a range he has. Yeah. I think that movie came out, like that was the year that Jim Carrey also put out The Mask and
Ace Ventura, I think.
And Ace Ventura. So yeah, he was a big star. He was selling tickets. And
oh my God.
It's just like comedy, man. That's so relatable to stand-up comedy. Yeah. You can have two comedians, they're both as funny, but one, for whatever reason, right now they're in the zeitgeist and they're selling tickets and they can put butts in seats. They're going to make 10 times as much as a comedian who might even be funnier than them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the case with our buddy Derek. Like,
well, not anymore, man.
Not anymore. But there was a time when, I mean, I've said it before, when John Crist took him as a feature on the road, I'm like, John, what are you doing? I'm a huge fan of John Crist. I think he's great, but Derek is a killer. You're going to have, which gave me so much respect for John Crist. I'm like, I would never want to follow Derek. That would be the worst. But yeah, so and when you think of Dumb and Dumber, you probably think of it as a Jim Carrey movie, not as a Jeff Daniels movie. Right.
Like, yeah, probably.
Even as it was, sold in theaters, you're probably like, okay, this is a Jim Carrey. You like The Mask, you like Ace Ventura. Obviously, I was a big Ace Ventura fan. The second one was better, but I was into that. So okay, so I kind of teased it, kind of went past it. So the two movies that this makes you, if you like these two movies, we can be friends. One of them, Dumb and Dumber. These are the best comedy movies from a guy, a millennial, that I think are the best comedy movies. What would be the other one?
Princess Bride?
Oh, no. So I think that's
a different genre. So you're kind of giving me a hint. It's got to be a crazy, silly movie.
Yeah, it's got to be a silly movie. And Princess Bride, okay. There was a time, I think, when Princess Bride got too much credit. And by the time you actually watched it, I actually watched it for the first time, in my late teens, maybe even early 20s. I'm like, it's okay. And you have to get that formative years, and the whole premise of this, Columbo is reading a book to, the kid from the Wonder Years. And you're like, what do we do? What? And it's the name of the movie is Real Stupid. Princess Bride. Why would I want to see a movie called Princess Bride? I don't know.
Yeah, all objections overruled. Incredible film. Incredible film.
Stupid name.
Rodents of an unusual size, the torture scene,
Yeah.
there's so much great in there. You killed my father, prepare to die.
Yeah,
It's
Andre
just
the Giant. I related to Andre pretty well. Still do. But
yeah.
yeah.
Just a great film. Okay, so a very silly movie that you love that uses a barometer to tell if other people are funny around that time. I don't know. Hot Shots.
Ooh, that's a good one. I do
Well, how
like
about Airplane?
that's a good one too. Those are both
Okay.
parodies, very silly, very into it. I'm gonna let you off the hook
How
here.
about one more guess? Major League.
Also good. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Major League. All of those are silly. Major League's probably the least silly of those. But the other one's very silly. Airplane is great. Airplane, I feel like it was just a hair before my time.
Okay.
But I think right in my time, Tommy Boy. Tommy Boy,
Okay.
very in my time. Absolutely loved it.
Is that the one where his dad works at a brake factory or some kind of car
They're auto
factory?
parts manufacturer.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Okay. You're gonna die. I don't even know if I've seen the whole thing.
What?
Mm.
Oh my goodness, it's the best.
Time to get it on Laserdisc, everybody. I think it might be too new.
Oh my goodness,
Too new for Laserdisc. Let's see if it's available.
I would say Dumb and Dumber is number 2, and number 1 is Tommy Boy. It
is available on Laserdisc. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna watch it. We'll do a full review on the Patreon someday.
It is the best comedy movie for maybe ever, but definitely really, really high up there. I think at different genres. There's some comedy movies that I thought were great that are more modern. They don't have the nostalgia factor, but they're still really, really good movies, like The Other Guys with Wahlberg and Will Ferrell.
I did not like that movie.
Oh, I
Jake.
loved that one. I loved that one. And then Spy with Melissa McCarthy, I thought was
the one with the invisible plane. Maybe Jason Bateman or something.
Yeah, it has Jason Statham in it as like a really intense spy, like the antagonist, whatever. Well, he's kind of on her side. It's a whole thing, but it's fun. So those are comedy movies that I really, really enjoy.
Okay. I haven't seen a lot of Chris Farley movies, honestly. He did, I don't know, what, 6, 8, something like that. I haven't seen very many of them.
I saw them all.
How I missed out.
That was my guy. I mean, like Saturday Night Live, I must have been 8th, 9th grade. Chris Farley's heyday. You know, just that's the guy.
Yeah, you read about how hard he was working when he was filming those movies. Like, you know, he was doing Saturday Night Live, which was killing him quite literally. And then he'd have like a couple months off and he would just do movie after movie after movie. And the physical abuse, he'd do all his own stunts and just get beat up. And
I read his autobiography, or not autobiography, because he was past his biography. And it's great and sad. And, you know, I had to drive through Chicago recently, and I was on the phone with my wife when I was driving through Chicago. And I was like, oh, there's the Chicago skyline. Okay, I know it as the Sears Tower. I believe it's now called the Willis Tower. But like, you know, it was the tallest building in the world for a little while. But I always look on the other side near the waters, the Hancock building, you know, the big black
one with a diamond.
Yeah, it's got the big, I think to me, they look like X's. Big X's on the outside of the building. And that's the building where Chris Farley died. And that's what I said to my wife. I'm like, that's what it means to me, is that's the building that Chris Farley died in.
Is that for real? I don't think that's right.
Oh, that's real.
Well, no, I'm thinking of Jim Belushi. Okay, all right, yeah. He didn't die in. Where did Jim Belushi die? In L.A.? Somebody died in L.A., I thought, and somebody died in Aspen.
I don't know.
Huh. You're 100% that Chris Farley died in Chicago?
Yeah, he died in the Hancock building. He had an apartment there. I mean, it's such a sad story for such a guy that
I know so little about.
Is a great guy. He what did he do? He was with a hooker, and he had a speedball, which is like morphine and cocaine or something crazy like that. And overdosed. Apparently, his last words were "To the hooker, help me," and like then she leaves because she's already been paid and whatever. And like that is just a tragedy of an ending to this guy who's brought so much joy.
You are 100% correct. He was 33 years old.
You know,
It was cocaine and heroin.
cocaine and heroin.
There we go. For all our regular listeners that are speedball aficionados.
Yeah.
We're like, you're wrong.
Yeah. So
this is the wrong podcast for speedball content.
Yeah.
Speaking of books about funny movies, have we talked about the Airplane book?
No, I've never.
Surely You Can't Be Serious. It's one of the, I have recommended this book to more comics than in probably any other book. It is unbelievable, and the audiobook in particular is exceptional because they have quotes from famous people in the book that are like, you know, what the movie meant to them throughout the book. And in the audiobook, the famous people, for the most part, read their own quotes.
Wow.
It's like in their voices. It's great. Surely You Can't Be Serious. It's like the story of how it's great for, you know, it's basically Mark and Jake try to make it retrospective about two filmmakers who are brothers from Wisconsin. And they try to make it, and spoiler alert, they do make it. They make this incredible movie that influenced comedy for a generation. It's really, really fun. Really cool.
Oh,
all right. I got a little homework. Tommy Boy. And I got to track down that Dumb and Dumber laser disc.
Yep.
Okay. Fun. Cool.
Good. Yeah. Airplane is fantastically good.
So many jokes.
I'm gonna have to. I didn't know about that book. I just found it on the. I like to do audiobooks through the library.
Okay. Yeah. Hoopla.
Yeah. Well, it's Libby.
Libby. Yeah. I used to. Yeah. Okay. I think I did not pay for it. I used the library. That's a good. There's the content people come to this podcast for. how to get audiobooks for free. It totally works. It's incredible.
It works. And the cool thing, you can have multiple library cards or whatever. So I have one in Louisville, of course, but I still have my library card from Douglas County.
That's a good one. I have Douglas County, Arapahoe County, Denver. Denver's not great because it's like, I don't know, they don't have the right budget per population. Douglas County is my go-to. I just requested a book yesterday on dcl.org. It's great.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Douglas County, and it, like you have to like it expires after a few number of years. So I've been living in
person.
Yeah, I've been living in Kentucky for years, and it expired. And I called them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll renew it. No big deal."
You didn't even have to go in.
You have to go in.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, you think they'd notice somehow that you've never gotten a physical book. And his IP address when he downloads these audiobooks, it's always in a different state. That's so funny. I want to shout out you, Jake, for saying something really funny. So we covered that I do most of the back end work, and I was editing an episode. I think it was our most recent episode, but now we're all out of order. So but you used the phrase "little rocks of butter." to describe, and it kind of went over my head in real time, but listening to the episode, that is just great. Just genius.
Yeah.
Little rocks of butter. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, the little tiny cup. We're talking about trying to make a waffle edible at a breakfast nook of the hotel, specifically a Choice Hotel, and the butter, they keep it super refrigerated. I'm like, you don't have to refrigerate butter. That's not, I mean, people do. I know people do, but you don't have to. My grandma didn't, and she eventually died. But everybody dies. And you're trying to melt it on top of the waffle, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, crazy. I went to a Fringe meeting last night. We talked about this Fringe Fest in Denver. I'm getting a little anxious.
Okay.
A little anxious about this event. It was basically like it was billed as, we're going to teach you how to market your event because you want to sell tickets. You want to get people to come to your show. but it turned out to be more of like just like a social meet and greet. And the main meat of the event was just everybody standing in a circle, going around, introducing themselves and talking about their show. And so the people who were prepared, which was 90% of the people that were actually presenting at Fringe, there were also people who were just kind of interested in the overall event. They would get all dramatic. They would say the name of their show. They get all excited. They'd be like, "Oh, I've toured this around the country at the Orlando Fringe and the Cincinnati Fringe, and it has puppets and it has magic and lights and smoke and it was like and like these people, I'd be like, man, I want to go see that show." And then I was like, I'm a stand-up comedian. I perform 150 nights a year. I'm going to do 45 minutes on something. Not really sure what my talk is going to be. Originally, it was going to be about blah. Now it might be about boo. And I did not think I did a very good job selling it. So I got to work on my pitch. I got to work on my talk. I got it a week from now. I'm going to an event where there's like, it's a small group thing where like 3 or 4 of us do a portion of our show and then get feedback. And then we give feedback to the other people. So I really got to pull it together. I think after last night's meeting, I have like 10 different possible topics, but I think you'll like this. I think what I would like to do is make it the sequel to my book, Not Good Yet.
Okay. Yeah.
So I have a title for that already. I just got to get the domain before I say it publicly. And if I could, it'd basically be like a stepping stone to writing the second book. Mm-hmm. It'd be like little vignettes from that next book. And then I do some stand-up comedy in there. And I also have a dramatic idea where when I'm like telling a story that has like gravity or whatever, I don't wear a hat. But then when I'm doing stand-up, I put on a Vail Comedy Show baseball cap. Mm-hmm. So there's like this physical, like a very easy prop.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Neil Brennan's 3 mics idea, where there's different mics for different things. And that's kind of where I started thinking. And I was like, yeah, but I'm not going to have multiple mics. Like the whole thing is like, I'm getting the bare bones. I'm going to be lucky to have a spotlight and a microphone, basically. Yeah. So what is in my control? And I could just throw a hat on. That's pretty easy.
Yeah.
And I don't have to spell it out for people, but I think they'll get it. And it will also help. We talked about this in a prior episode, how sometimes when stand-up comedians do storytelling events, it comes out as disingenuous and like too punchy. Like you can be too funny at a storytelling event. And so that would let people know, hey, we're switching gears here. Yeah. You know, we're going into joke. And then when I take the hat off, it's like back to kind of serious.
Interesting. Okay. I have thoughts about comedians wearing hats.
Because it makes it hard to see their face or blocks the light. Yeah, sure. I agree.
Are you going to be have it real
like backwards?
Not backwards, but like tilted way up.
Yeah, I could. I mean, I guess it depends where the light is. I could also, I have a pretty nice Vail Comedy Show zip up hoodie.
Okay.
I could use that, but it feels like that would take more time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could also just stand in a different place.
You could stand in a different place. I was thinking, the first thing that came to my mind would be like a small platform.
Okay.
Here's the comedy platform.
Like a crate?
Like a little crate, like a little soapbox.
That would be kind of cute because the back of my book is a picture of me as like a 4-year-old on a crate, kind of looking like a stand-up comedian.
Yeah. I think that would be thematical. I don't know. Whatever.
I used to have a wooden crate somewhere. I wonder if I still have that thing. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah. That's kind of cool. Yeah. The other thing that I realized at this meeting is if this goes well, if I put the whole thing is time. Like if I put time into this, it's going to be great. If I put 0 time into it, it will be adequate. I mean, I can for sure talk for 45 minutes. In fact, I could talk I think I get 3 shows. I could probably do 3 different shows.
Yeah.
You know, just talk about 3 different things. It's only a couple hours of talking. But if I put time into it and make it decent, I'm now realizing I could use it as an excuse to tour around the country.
Yeah.
Like there are fringes in cities all over.
Yeah.
Maybe there's one in Louisville. I apply there and I come stay at your house for a week. And
That'd be fun.
check
Yeah,
out the
no,
literature.
absolutely. I think it's great. And then you have it on the, on your resume of Denver Fringe. It's called Denver Fringe.
Yeah,
Festival.
Denver Fringe Festival.
That sounds very legit.
Okay, if you say so.
I don't know how legit it is, but it sounds very legit.
They're going to have 85 shows apparently.
Oh wow! I just read this thing that I was reading Jay Leno's book, and he said that the American Caricature Association said that he had the most distinctive face.
Yeah.
And Jerry Seinfeld's like, how'd you get that? Why do they even know you? He's like, I made it up. There is no American Caricature Association. I just made it up. I thought that was pretty funny. But I have a similar idea of hey, kind of forcing myself to write by forcing myself to speak in a certain way. It'd probably be more on the church side of things, but I think that's a fun idea. I like that idea.
Tell me more about your writing idea.
So it would be, I teach Sunday school, and I get to figure out what I'm teaching, and I like the idea of writing a kind of a funny, humor-filled, but still like somewhat spiritual, like kind of devotional book, where it's like little bite-sized thoughts. There's a pretty famous, and if you're a Christian or you're in the Christian world, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. There's this little thing that they give away all the time. It's called Daily Bread, and if you read, it's like one page, and it's got, hey, here's a little Bible verse, little Bible concept, little story illustrating it. And there's always like these heartfelt little stories like, oh, generosity. Well, I was with my 7-year-old granddaughter and this, and they're all like these like really sappy, whatever, little stories. And I'm like, what if you did that, but all of them were funny, like
right.
Instead of Daily Bread, something sweeter, something I thought of the idea of daily cinnamon roll, and so have it the same sort of like spiritual thing, but like there's jokes in here. There's funny, so
that's a good idea.
Yeah, I like
it could be good merch too.
Yeah, I think so.
Especially at church gigs.
At church gigs, I think it would be amazing merch. I think that's the sort of thing that they would buy 30 of to do their
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I saw this. I saw Jeff Allen do this. Jeff Allen, I think I've said this before, but he's very good stand-up comedian. I would love working with him. I think he's a great guy. He's got kind of a 90s feel to his stand-up. Very, like what you'd think of the Tonight Show guy, or a club comic from the 90s. Just that attitude and like the whatever, that cadence and the silliness and whatever. It's just that he's very polished though, and he does that, and he's like really good stand-up comic for 50 minutes, maybe sometimes even 60 minutes, and then slams on the brakes, does what is essentially a merch pitch, but not really, because it's almost like a little sermon. And it's like 7 minutes long. It's incredibly heartfelt. He's basically weeping. He quotes scripture. It's this whole thing. It's like, holy cow, man. How are you going to dig yourself out of this? What is happening? But everybody's on the edge of their seat. He's like, hey, I talk all about this in my book. And then goes back to does about another 10 minutes of like that regular stand-up, kind of just switches gears. And he has sold so many books. I stood next to him when he's selling. A crowd of 70 or 80. He's selling like 50 books.
Wow.
and guys walking out with a stack of 15 books. He's like, I'm going to give this to everybody I know, that sort of thing.
I am actually considering ordering new books.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a cheat, but I feel
Can't
like I can't do it.
You can't do it. You got to write the next book.
But if I do a one-man show with the same title, doesn't that kind of count as progress?
Let's see here. That is pretty close. That is definitely progress. Let's see here.
What if I only sold them at the Fringe shows, but I didn't allow myself to sell them at comedy shows?
Yeah. Okay. I'm for that.
Okay.
I do think the one-man show with the same title is definite progress, and that is, to me,
it's good marketing too.
Good marketing.
Like maybe I can collect some emails of people who are interested in the book.
Yeah. Like, this is a book. This is, you could even say it, I have a manuscript on my computer. It's not to the printer yet, but it's close. And
I wouldn't even do that. I would actually say I've had writer's block for 2 years. I was supposed to publish this 2 years ago. My publisher is me. It's self-published. My publisher is really angry at myself.
Yep. My publisher is in. I told you about this. I have a buddy who is a Greek grammarian, and he's published dozens of books. And he's also a college professor, and comedian as well. But he owns a publishing company, and I kind of like bounced a couple ideas around with him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll publish it for sure." So I'm like, he'll publish. Whether or not I want him to, I'm not sure if I do, but I kind of like the idea. I like, just like this, you take all the back end, I do all, like, just do that with him.
So I got an update on a prior thing. You might remember that I booked a show with like a residential community.
Yep.
Okay. And on the Patreon, I said how much I was getting paid, and you were blown away.
Yeah.
And just to cut right to the punchline, I did it. The show went so well that the guy immediately said, "We should be paying you even more."
Nice. Wow. That couldn't go better.
It couldn't have gone better. He was so impressed with the equipment I brought.
Yep.
And as a reminder, I don't know if we discussed this, but he moved here from a different state, but he had a similar job in a different state where he did similar comedy shows. So basically he had a baseline to compare to. And between the equipment and me and the talent I booked, he was just blown away. And by the way, he did an incredible job as well. It was an 80-person room, 80 people there. Perfect. It was packed. The only things that didn't go great were, I have this standard playlist for all my comedy shows. And it's the kind of thing where like you're in maybe this won't relate to you because you're too young, but in high school, when you had a mixtape and a song was ending, you immediately knew what the next song was, like in your head. Like when I'm setting up a showroom, I'm like humming the next song as a song is ending. Like it's burned into my brain. I hear it like 75 to 100 times a year.
Yeah. That
playlist this is an older community. It was not good for them. They did not like it.
Yeah.
So I need to get like a Frank Sinatra. I need to make a new playlist, which will be great. I can use it at nursing home gigs as well.
It's funny because that's what I did. I did a nursing home not terribly long ago, and I put not Frank Sinatra, but Dean Martin. I just put Dean Martin and just hit go and saw what came up. And I didn't like curate the playlist, but
okay.
I like him.
So I have a logistical question for you.
Yeah.
The way I ran the show was I did 15 minutes up top as a host. And I got to say, I had one of my best hosting sets ever. It was like 10 minutes in before I did any material. I was just on fire, and they were in a good mood and just like goofing around and getting to know them. So that was great. Then I did a 7-minute clean middle spot for a newer comedian, and then a 50-minute headliner who was, I'll say who it was in the Patreon, but late night credit, clean, dry bar, just awesome, just an incredible. And it's a weeknight. They got paid very well. Like everybody's happy in this situation. Here's the challenge: the 7-minute middle struggled. Not, and I'm not saying I buried them, but I did very well. It was a tough spot. And to book somebody for 7 minutes, like it's hard to find somebody like people who are good and can do 7 minutes clean are basically not going to travel for that. One didn't pay super well.
Yeah.
It was kind of like on the order of $10 a minute, basically, kind of pay. So, but it's on a weeknight and it's practice for people who want to kind of get into corporate stuff. But I have a feeling that forever, that's going to be a tough spot. It's the kind of spot where the people who were at the show were so blown away. They're begging for another show as soon as possible. They had a great time, but that guy in the middle, what was going on there? That was weird.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm not sure if I caught it. So you had you did 15. This person did 7, and then one other comic did,
the headliner did 50.
50.
Yeah. 50 to an hour.
Yeah.
I think this one did 56.
That's
minutes.
Interesting. I mean, I agree with you doing 15. And why? What's the thought about having the middle?
So your immediate gut is just get rid of the middle.
Either get rid of the middle or expand the middle to make it a little bit, because 7 minutes to me sounds like a favor. Like you're doing me a favor. Hey, you're going to give me 7 minutes. I would do 7 minutes for free or for,
Sure.
for not much, it's a weeknight. That doesn't doesn't feel like I'm adding to the show as much as the show is adding to me. Like it feels like I'm the
That is kind of part of my goal. I'm trying to give people an opportunity to try to work clean.
Okay.
And I didn't guess this ahead of time, but now I'm realizing I think a lot of people are going to struggle in that spot, and which will be helpful to them. They're going to realize, oh, I'm not as good as I thought I was clean. And if I ever want to sell myself for a 15-minute clean spot or a 30-minute clean spot, I got a lot of work to do. It also could have been an anomaly. Like if Stroop was still around and I booked Stroop, he would murder in that spot. He might not have done it for the money.
Yeah. What level of comic is doing that?
This is somebody who's been doing it 5+ years and has a lot of success, maybe a little dirtier, but is actually kind of known as a clean comic.
Interesting.
I think a bigger challenge was age. So this comic is younger, maybe 30 years old or so. And the average audience member was like 60, 65.
Yeah.
So having, I've talked before about doing these older, like a adult, nursing home type gigs. And sometimes I struggle because my material isn't relatable to them. I need more jokes about zippers.
Yeah.
That's what I say. I need stuff that's just super common. Anyways, so you're thinking maybe a little bit longer. The thing is with the quality of the headliners I'm getting, I've already booked the next headliner, another absolute killer. I want to give them an hour. Like they're not going to come out for a short. They don't want to do 30 minutes,
So it's maybe it's a branding issue of like, hey, I'm giving you a 7-minute tryout, or I'm giving you a 7-minute, opportunity to get clean, whatever. But it does, in the show, I'm just picturing the show. Sometimes it does feel a little bit weird. It feels like a guest spot.
It is kind of a guest spot. It's less of a, you notice I didn't call it a feature, even though it's immediately preceding the headliner.
Yeah.
I called it a middle.
Yeah.
And, a lot of times that spot would be followed by a feature and then the headliner. Yep. And a lot of this is the struggle that this comic had, which wasn't, it's not like they bombed. It's just, but you could tell a difference. And obviously the headliner was so good. It's like if you did 7 minutes before Stroop,
it's tough.
Nobody would remember you
Nobody.
later. They'd be like, why was that guy even on the show?
Yeah.
Which is basically the issue. And the reason the guy is on the show, or the gal in the future, is because I would like to give opportunities to local comic. I don't run a lot of shows in the Denver metro area. And, it's nice to be able to pay somebody, even though it's not a ton of money, and give them an opportunity.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds, just the amount of time, the amount of money, the weekday, the fact that it's clean and you're using dirty comics, or not traditionally like all clean comic, does feel like it is a opportunity, a gift, a favor to them. And so in that case, I might be like, hey,
It's unpaid.
I'm confident that I can do 15 good. I'm confident that the headliner can do 50 good. And we are just going to do a little favor for these other guys in the middle. They're going to be either good or forgettable. Either one is fine.
Okay. But what? I like tell people that from stage? I don't want to do that. That's like undercutting.
No, you tell yourself that, and then you're like,
okay. Or my contact at the place.
Your contact at the place. Did he complain about the middle?
He did not. In fact, he loved the middle.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of weird because I was in the room, but I did ask for feedback, and it was the one piece of feedback that although everybody absolutely loved the show, is still raving about the show, some people did just think that other comic was not a great fit for the show and was not as funny. But they were fine. And honestly, I think there's value in having a comparison point for the headliner.
Yeah.
Like you I don't know if this is true or not. You'd have to run 100 shows and do some with that spot and some without. But would they really think the headliner was as good if it wasn't after somebody who was okay? I mean, I think there's a reason that comedy clubs typically do like host, feature, headliner instead of just headliner. Yeah. The host is obviously to warm up the crowd. So there's a warm room. But why have that second comic if the people can do the time? There's also, different voices, different. There's value in that stuff. We'll see. I'm probably gonna book. Because I'm getting more money. I'm gonna raise the pay for that spot, and I'm booking somebody who I think is probably a little more experienced / maybe funnier on this next one, and they may crush. They may do awesome.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe I won't be quite as on fire in the hosting spot, and it might make it easier. I mean, I really didn't do this person any favors by just coming out and
and
also I did very little material. You know how that works. Yeah. When somebody doesn't do material and you try and follow it with material, it's like it's tough.
Yeah, and that is tough. But a 7 minute for a competent professional, a competent comedian, they should be able to just crank that. I mean,
it should be joke.
And you take a 5 minute bit and you chop it down to 2, and another 5 minute bit, chop it down, and you just play the hits.
Yeah.
The
other thing I'm thinking about doing is changing it to a 5 to 7 minute spot.
Okay.
Which the problem is nobody heeds that. 5. Nobody feels like, oh, I'm not doing great, I'm just going to keep it to 5.
It's always the opposite. A guy could be, I have seen a 5 to 7 minute guy, like you got a 5 to 7 minute spot, just on fire, get off at like 5:15. I have never seen a guy bombing get off at 5:15.
I know. They're getting off at 7:30.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So, so we'll see how this is kind of a new experience for me. I haven't booked. I think the big difference is the longer hosting spot for me, which makes it worth it for me to run the show. Like another idea is I could drop my set to 10 minutes and give that other person 15, make it a 10 to 15 minute spot, which is more traditional, more like what I do up in the mountains, because I have to give people more time to make it worth the drive.
Yeah.
But I'm getting greedier, Jake. I'm getting
with
better, and I
Dude,
want the stage time.
I want you to have the stage time, and I think you're being generous by having that spot exist.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
there you
we
go.
could do without it, I guess. I mean, the other thing is I could have them host,
You could have them host.
and then I could do the middle. But that seems
Again, I think that's a generous move on your part of like hosting. Hosting can be
it can be
pretty
difficult.
rough.
Yeah.
First 3-4 minutes.
And I gotta say, I was a little nervous going in. First time in this venue, first time with this audience. I mean, I'm hoping over time they're gonna be the same people again and again and again, and they're gonna like me, and it will be easy. But I definitely will feel some pressure eventually. Oh, here's the other great thing about this. The guy, my contact, the company he works for is like a behemoth company in America. And so there are other properties in Colorado, and he's already like advocating for them to reach out to me and book me, so this is just like rinse and repeat. I just do this in other places. This is going to turn into
your full-time job. Yeah.
Yeah, I might. Who needs to sell tickets anymore?
There you go. There you go. That is interesting. I've thought about who needs to sell tickets anymore. That is something I've just thought about. Like, there's so much to being in comedy, so much to trying to make it, that is selling tickets, right? And like really thinking about how do I get from people that see me like me and a couple of people on the internet say nice things about me to I can actually move a lot of tickets, or at least a decent amount of tickets. And then you think about corporate gigs where you are responsible to sell 0 tickets. You can't even sell tickets. Like I did a show at Valvoline. If my wife wanted to see the show, she's not allowed. You can't see it. Right? Yeah. Nobody can see the show. It is corporate only. I did a show for a auto company, auto color company. Nobody is allowed in the room that doesn't work for this company.
Yeah.
And it's weird.
And it all pays better at our level.
Better. Yeah, pays better, and it is interesting because it's stressful to be like, hey, how do I get to the point of where I can sell tickets? Corporate, man, is not stressful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm for this Cush gig that we've been discussing, I'm trying to book a person who does a lot of cruise ship work.
Yeah.
I don't know the number of weeks, 30, 40 weeks a year, something like that. So they're making a fortune. Yep. They're making a lot of money. We can talk a little. I just worked with a cruise ship comic. I'm going to share a dollar amount with you that I think is going to blow your mind, but maybe not, on the Patreon.
I need to get into cruises.
I know, I love cruise ship, man. Right? But I was thinking about it, and so I'm trying to book this guy, and basically it's like not available, working a cruise, not available, working a cruise. So it's like there are people who stop basically doing club work, showcase work. They get into their niche and they don't need to do it anymore. There are also comics who think that that's a recipe for stagnation. You get into you get your regular cruise act and you don't change it for 20 years. It works with everybody. You forget how to work a room. And I don't know. It is an interesting topic. I've been doing a lot of like tax stuff and looking at 2025 numbers, and if you were trying to optimize for dollars, it would make sense. But I other than like a home run shot, like if you're going for a home run, like for sure Stroop is printing money right now.
Yes, for sure.
And he could have just gotten off the treadmill and just done corporates and made a really nice living. But he kept at it and tried to make it so he could sell tickets, and he can sell tickets now. There's way more money in that, I think, than even a lucrative corporate career.
Yeah, yeah,
And I
absolutely.
think you're a little more in charge of your destiny as well.
Yeah.
There's a little more control. Like, what if Valvoline goes out of business and you're like top 10 companies going, or that we go into a recession and, you know, that money dries up.
Well, and there's all of the digital. That cruise ship guy could be extremely funny and well polished, and we all love him, but nobody knows his name. He hasn't worked on building an audience that's his audience. But when you get an audience that is your audience, you're making money when you're asleep. You're making money on Sirius XM. You're making money on podcasts. You're making money on YouTube. You're making, and that's the
Wait, podcasts can make money?
not this one, but other podcasts can make money. But yeah, so that would be that. I think that's having an audience is probably safer, but it is definitely harder. And then that can also go away, right? Like guys can get canceled, guys can get, one weird thing happen, and you're
Yeah,
like
just less popular. I mean, that's
less
like the
popular.
American story. They make people famous, and then they love to beat them down, and they're less famous.
Absolutely. So, you could be selling out arenas, and then you dye your hair yellow, and you look like a doofus, and that's Matt Rife, by the way.
He has yellow hair now?
Yeah. Last time I saw him, I like the guy. I met him. He's a nice guy. He's I like.
Would you say you do like him or don't like him?
I like him. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've seen a few of his clips. I've been at one of his shows. I did a show that was like a midnight show. It was supposed to end at midnight on New Year's Eve. He had a show that started at like 1 a.m. or whatever, and we were like me and the other comics hanging out in the green room because we hadn't gotten paid yet. And then him and his entourage came in. They were real nice to us, and I saw the first part of his act, which was him on stage. He started his own show, which I'm for.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
yeah, that's interesting. On the Patreon, I'll have a Matt Rife story for you too.
I don't think
a little.
I don't think the blonde hair is flattering on Matt, but he did not ask my opinion. So, and I'm going gray. So,
what was I going to talk about on the Patreon? Matt Rife, cruise ship money. I was going to say who the headliner was for
you haven't
gig.
Headliner yet, or the feature.
Well, yeah,
or the middle.
We'll reveal that.
Yep.
The tricky thing is that person may be watching this.
Yeah.
And if they are, you did fine.
You did fine.
You did fine.
You're fine.
Everybody has an off night.
Clean is hard. Hard.
And honestly, I don't think he struggled with being clean. He struggled with the age difference.
Yeah.
And maybe, which I think is helpful. I think anytime you struggle in comedy, we're getting into Fringe Fest material now. Like the failure is what makes you good.
Oh,
you fail in a specific environment, and if you can recognize that and come back from it, next time you're like, you talk about, hey, I'm different than you. I'm way younger. And then you go into the same material. You just frame it in a way that's going to be interesting and spark curiosity in front of a different audience.
Yep, absolutely.
Have you heard of Sandhill cranes?
No.
Okay, they're these big birds. Yeah, I'm sure you like the movie Jurassic Park. This was the most Jurassic Park thing I've ever done in my life. I went to Kearney, Nebraska. I got tons of stories to tell about this run I did through Nebraska, which eventually one of these podcasts we'll get around to talking about. But this in particular, I did a show at the World Theater, woke up the next morning, pre-dawn, got in my car, drove around. Jake, it looked like Jurassic Park. The sky was peppered with these birds. There are millions of them. I mean, I couldn't see millions of them. There are millions of them migrating into Nebraska. I don't know. They're going up to Canada or away from Canada. I don't know where they're headed. I didn't talk to them, but they're flying through the sky. They're all over the place. It's like You know, as the sky lights up, it's still dark because there's so many cranes around, and they're loud and they're big. You know, it's like they're pterodactyls flying
Yeah.
around. They're wild, man. And so I basically like pulled off to the side of the road where some other cars were, and there are all these people in camouflage with big fancy cameras, you know, stalking these birds. And I show up in my bright colored show shoes
That's right.
and a neon jacket. And these birds, they're wild. Like it reminded me a lot of when I went to Duluth, Minnesota for the first time. Everybody said, you got to go down to the harbor and you got to watch the boats come in. I was like, I've seen a boat, man. I'm not a 4-year-old. This isn't going to be exciting. And I went down to the harbor and there are hundreds of people there, including lots of 4-year-olds, by the way.
Yep.
And son of a gun, I was mesmerized.
Yeah.
It was the biggest ship I'd ever seen. This thing was like a mile long if it was 50 feet long.
Yeah.
It was so cool. There's like a little human on it waving. I mean, it's so tiny, a little speck of a human on this enormous cargo ship. So I thought that was really cool. I also thought the Sandhill cranes were going to be a disappointment, and they did not disappoint. Huge exceeded expectations. Check out the Sandhill cranes if you're ever in Nebraska in March, I guess.
Yeah, that's great. That's one of my favorite things about the job, is traveling to weird places and seeing things, and like, oh man, I saw something weird and goofy, and
yeah,
you know, we went to Austin. You know, we were there on a Tuesday.
Bats?
No, I didn't see the bats. We were there on a Tuesday, and the art museum is free on Tuesday. So we went to the art museum. I realized that my favorite style of painting is Baroque, because my favorite artist is Rembrandt. And you know, I like. He's got two that I really like. Return of the Prodigal Son is really, really good, but I also like Jesus on the Sea of Galilee. And whenever I was
on Jesus. Okay, all right.
Yeah, kind of a big deal. On the Sea of Galilee.
Heard of him. Jesus is how I refer to him. But
that painting was actually stolen out of a art gallery in Boston, a little tiny art gallery that and has never been recovered. It was cut out of the frame, like literally, like cut out of the frame.
Have you seen the movie Crime 101? It's
no.
out now. Pretty good. Yeah. Okay. Keep going.
But you know, touring interesting places. I've told you about going to Sweetwater in Fort Wayne. Who would think that there was something so cool in Fort
They have the fast casual salad business in Fort Wayne, Indiana. That's shocking.
No. Sweetwater.
Oh, Sweetwater. I'm thinking Sweet Green. Yeah, Sweetwater. Yeah, they send out the Tootsie Rolls or whatever.
Yeah. But all sorts of neat things when you travel. That's the thing that always is frustrating when I have to travel too fast and I don't get to spend. You know, I got a show here and then I got a show there and I got to get back to this. And but that's where, you know, traveling as a headliner, that's the best. It's also the worst sometimes. But if you're doing a weekend at a place, you know, you get in right before the show on Thursday, but then you know you have basically all day Friday to do nothing, and then all day Saturday to do nothing, and you know that's a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right, we got to wind this down. We're gonna do plugs. Let's do a special edition of plugs. This comes out April 13th, but we never did plugs for basically the week before April 13th. So you can throw in some of that if you want to mention it.
Okay. I'm going to Murray, Kentucky, doing a show there.
Okay.
And then on the 16th, this is exciting. I'm doing my show at the Louisville Comedy Club. So it's a concept show. It's called Read 'em and Weep, where we're going to roast the comedians and then they have to read the roast into the microphone. So I'm excited about that. And then I also got a show at a winery that weekend as well. So yeah.
Nice. Awesome. We should talk later about getting you to do one of these clean Kush gigs. Maybe you could co-headline with someone.
Yeah, with you. Well, why don't you hire the host? You co-headline.
That would be fun. Maybe in a different community than this first one, where they've already seen me as not a headliner. I feel like that spoils But all right, so this is coming out April 13th, but we're doing, I apologize to Boulder, Colorado. We did not let you know in time that April 10th and 11th, I'm at Comic Sense Comedy Club. I'm hosting all weekend. There's some kind of clean comedian there. So I'm kind of interested to meet this person. I think they have a dry bar. Then April 15th, I'm in San Francisco. April is a wild month, Jake. I am all over the country. It's crazy. I'm in San Francisco on Wednesday, April 15th in Union Square at Cheaper Than Therapy. It's a cute little theater. I love working it. And then I'm taking a red eye to Boston, borrowing a car, driving to Portland, Maine, and that night doing 2 shows. Thursday, April 16th, I'm at oh shoot, it's not even in here. What's it called? Empire Comedy Club. I think I'm doing a guest set. I don't know. It's probably like a showcase middle kind of thing. But then I'm doing Laugh Shack, which is an incredible room. It's at Lincoln's. It's a secret bar. It's a speakeasy in a basement. I'm headlining that show. I'm so excited. I will not have books for sale, apparently, even though I'm headlining. But you can buy stickers. Then Friday, April 17th, I'm headlining a bar show in Freeport, Maine. I'm co-headlining with this guy. Is he some guy who he started Next Stop? Have we talked about Next Stop?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's like a Don't Tell knockoff. Anyways, so he's I think he's famous for that. He's also, I think I just saw him on the Moon Tower Comedy Festival website. So he's doing the Moon Tower. That's wild. And then the next night I'm in Auburn, Maine, at Great Falls Comedy Club. And I've lost my list now. And then the next night, this is the most important, Jake, Sunday, April 19th. This is the eve of Patriots Day, which is a national holiday if you live in Massachusetts. In New Bedford, Massachusetts, on Sunday, April 19th, I'll be at Mikey B's Seafood Restaurant.
Ooh.
Special Friends of Vail Comedy Festival. We got Tyler Hittner, who actually dropped out of Vail Comedy Festival. So is he a friend of Vail Comedy Festival? Who knows? He got a theater gig. He's from Coventry, Rhode Island. And then Boston's own Liam McGurk is going to headline that show. This is a show where I'm going to do maybe a 30-minute host set. So I'm trying to create this new thing where I can go to any city and do Friends of Vail Comedy Festival and just grab a couple past performers and do a long host set and try and increase my brand value. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, we're rolling over to the Patreon, everybody. We're so grateful for you listening. And, it's $5. Patreon.com/Mark and Jake. Tune in. I think you could listen to all the episodes and then just cancel your subscription. And then you could probably get us canceled because there's a lot of dirt in there. And we're going to talk about a lot of dirt. We're going to talk about Matt Rife. We're going to talk about cruise ship money. We're going to name some names.
That's right.
Yeah. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll catch you next time.